right, this video is for the full standing hip car. This is just one variation, kind of a basic standing variation of the hip car. This is going to be a level 1 car, so we're not going to be doing a max effort here. A couple rules for the cars before we start. Number 1 is that it should always be pain-free, so no sharp shooting or pinching. So we want to avoid those, and if you ever encounter those, we just simply reduce motion in that direction so that we're staying within the pain-free range, and we're still moving that way, we're just not pushing to the point where things start to really bother you. Secondly, the goal is to isolate the hip joint with this movement, so I want nothing around that moving, so we're going to do as best of a job as we can to isolate that. We want to keep them honest. By honest, I mean only that hip moving. So I'd always rather have a reduction in the movement at the hip and that be the only thing moving than the boundaries constantly being pushed and end up moving all these other areas of the body, because it's not going to help us achieve our goal, which is to have a better hip joint. So the hip moves in a lot of directions here, so I'm going to be talking about all the directions as I go through it, and I'm also going to be going through a couple different views here. So we're going to start with a forward view. Definitely want something for balance. If you have any balance issues, you can be in a doorway, next to a wall, anything like that will work. I'm going to start by using the foam roller here. I'm going to do a right hip car. So I'm going to create tension in my left leg here as if I'm pushing my heel into the floor. Squeeze my quad, my butt, and also my abs as if someone's going to poke me in the tummy. I'm going to start by bringing the knee up towards my chest here, but with my hip in external rotation. So I'm rotating my hip as far as I can externally as I flex, and I'm actually trying to aim the knee across the body here to work a deduction. I'm going to get that as high as I can here. Once I max that position out, then I'm going to slowly open the hips into abduction. All this time I'm trying to maximize the motion, so I'm constantly asking myself, can I get more in that direction? So as I open here, I'm trying to get higher with that knee. Once we reach that point here, I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to very slowly internally rotate the hip as I extend back here, trying to maintain maximal distance between my knees. Max out the extension portion, so I'm pushing my heel behind me towards the wall and then slowly controlling my knee back towards the other knee, then allowing it to go forward. I'm not allowing it to go forward until I reach that other knee. I'll show you again the same direction, so I'm going to flex with external rotation towards the midline of the body and slowly abduct the hip, opening like a book. Common compensation here is going to be to want to turn everything, so make sure that the rest of the body stays straight forward. I'm going to internally rotate the hip and extend back. As I go back there, I'm going to want to kind of hike up my hip. So pay attention there so that we're not doing that. Extend back and then slowly come back down. I'm going to show you from the side next because I'm going to reverse that circle here. So from the side and the reverse portion of the hip car, I'm going to have that same tension. I'm going to start with the knee bent, slowly extend back, open the hip, draw the knee up towards the armpit here into flexion, and then slowly externally rotate as I come back across towards the midline, then lower the hip back down. Okay? I'm going to show you a couple of views of my left hip as well here. From the side, flex with external rotation, open the hip, internally rotate, extend back, draw the knee down towards the other knee, and then the reverse, extend back, open, knee up towards the armpit, then coming back across with external rotation. So I'm trying to lift the foot as I come around and then slowly lower. From the back view here, I'm going to press both hands into the wall, flex the hip with external rotation, open the hip, internally rotate, extend back, knee comes towards the other knee, and back through, and then reverse, extend back, open, draw the knee up towards the armpit, and come through. Now, a lot of times we can encounter ourselves cheating and compensating, so make sure we pay attention to that and always address it on all the following reps. And a good starting point would be to do these in the morning and a few times throughout the day. Start with anywhere from 2 to 3 reps up to 5 reps in a row, so we're not really fatiguing ourselves, so we can really practice the skill and do sets of that as often as possible throughout the day, as well as before any activity.